Hello, welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia, episode 152. I'm your host, Jacob Rush, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Black and Joshua Taylor, and we are back, and we're playing with Power yet again. This time, Ryan is actually here with us tonight. Ryan, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, finally.
Yeah. We've been I'm sure all of our listeners are just dying to know what you've been Radical Rexing about the past 3 weeks.
I got a couple things.
Good. Well, I can't wait to hear them. Josh, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Staying awake.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're actually, getting started a little bit earlier than we normally do. Not too much earlier, but a little bit. So that's always great. So let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get into what we have been Radical Rexing about. All right, Ryan, you've kept us waiting. You've kept us anxiously waiting. What is just so exciting on your plate here, man? What's up? What are you Radical Rexing about?
So, first thing, tomorrow I get to get up in early morning, leave here about 4 a.m. and drive to Chicago, do another shipping trip. Woo. So I'm not getting much sleep tonight. But I always enjoy my Chicago trips when I can go up to Mitsuwa and have authentic Japanese food, and it's a good time. But I'm Radical Rexing about that trip. And also just kind of like things have been piling up with Radical Rexing, so hopefully I can get all this out in a timely fashion. So right Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, you guys did an episode on it. Excellent job, guys. And it is an amazing game. I finally completed it. 100% or 99% of it.
Congratulations. You've beaten it before me.
It was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a contender for my game of the year for sure.
Heck yeah. Better than you thought it would be too, huh?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved it a lot better than Tropical Freeze. So
wow.
That's definitely man. Keep that one.
See,
easily.
We're not making this crap up, people. Ryan didn't even want to get the game at first.
And I got a couple of free games actually. One was gifted as almost like a parting gift for leaving GameStop. I'm no longer with them anymore, so
so they were happy, like yay.
They lost a good Nintendo representative there.
No more Ryan, take this game. Was it Crash? Was it like get out of here?
No, but I did get when I was leaving I got The Witcher 3, so
The Witcher 3, wow.
Yes. I wasn't even going to be getting the game, but I got it. No,
game.
I got to fire it up and play it soon. Here. Find out what it's all about, because I hear it's Game of the Year back when it came out, and it was just an amazing RPG, so.
Dude, I don't even know what to tell you to get for your must-get game. Like, every game that I was thinking about telling you, you've gotten, and I don't know what to tell you now. Jeez.
I've got one, but I wouldn't want to know what I'd get stuck with. So.
Oh, man, yeah. I'd have to return the favor extra hard if you gave me that.
Yeah, just get Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. You won't regret it. No.
My good friend Jeff wanted me to play a game with him. So he got me Dragon Marked for Death. And so we're going to be playing that together here soon. And it supports online play. So
sweet.
I think you can have up to 3 different players playing, but that's the game that I was really, really hyped for. I think it's an Inti Creates game, and that was one of the things one of the first Indie Directs, I want to say, that came out right around the Switch launch and everything. And so I've always been interested in it, really wanting to try that out, and finally have that, and I'll get to playing it soon. I've not had a lot of time to play my Switch lately, other than Yooka-Laylee. That's about it. But I've got some free time now that my party has come and gone, and it was a good party. It was Fallout themed. I've never actually played a Fallout game, but I actually did something weird for the first time. It's a costume party every year, and this is a bit embarrassing, but I actually wore a dress for the first time in my life. So there's a dress you can wear in Fallout 4, I want to say. It's just like a red dress. It's one of the female lead characters, but one of the male character can wear it too. So I wore that, and it was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird, Ryan.
I would have rather have been wearing a kilt, but hey.
All right,
I did it. I got some compliments.
Just don't show
I don't know
up
how
for
to
the
take them.
game nights wearing a dress, Ryan. We might have to have a talk.
I don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon. But if ever I need to play the role of the lead lady in some play, I can do it. Apparently.
Oh my.
And probably my biggest excitement. So Pokemon Day is coming on the 15th. That's just 4 days away. But I'm not actually excited about Pokemon. I mean, I am excited about Pokemon, but that's not what I'm most excited about. So there's some Amiibo coming out that day, Incineroar and what have you. I'm also excited about that, but that's not what I'm most excited about. What I'm most excited about is when the Metroid Replica Blaster comes out.
Oh yeah,
so
nice.
I finally saw pictures come through, and it is seriously the arm cannon. It is Samus's arm cannon that you can wear, and it is so amazing. I am stoked, just beyond excited about this. So it's like the Mega Man Buster for people who are Mega Man fans, but only Samus's arm cannon. I'm just I cannot wait to own this thing. It is it's like a grail thing for me. That's a piece of Samus's armor. Someday I'd love to have Samus's armor to cosplay, but I'm gonna have a piece of it right now, and it's coming on the 15th, and I'm just so stoked.
That's really cool. I want it too, to be honest. It's really neat. Anything else?
I think that's it for now.
That's a lot, man. Wow. Well, congratulations on being Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair. I almost beat it. I think I told you, but I did beat everything. And then I lost on the part after my final fight, and I pretty much just raged quit after that. So, and then I haven't touched it since, which I'm about to get back to it, but Josh, man, is something radical Rexing in your life? What's going on, dude?
It is pretty nonstop right now. Like I mentioned before, I'm working 2 different jobs.
Yeah.
And all of that. So
yeah,
kind of at a point where I'm trying to get to the good stuff. But when I do have time to sit down, I've still been playing Luigi's Mansion 3. Actually, mostly with my daughter, as well as I can.
What about your wife?
Some of that, but my daughter doesn't want to put it down.
So your daughter is actually pretty good at doing tasks.
Okay, she's 5. She's it's hit and miss. It depends on the moment.
How old is she?
5.
5. Oh, okay. Okay.
But then along with that, when it comes to games, we got Super Lucky's Tale because we had been saving up for that, and it's awesome. It's nice and easy. It's almost like Spyro if you've played those, but it's an easier version of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're gonna love this, but Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, because there's always something going on there.
Oh, I'm shocked.
And this month is a circus theme thing, so.
Oh yeah, you were sending photos of that.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's about it right now. There's not a whole lot else coming out this year that I'm super interested in. So,
are any of you guys radical Rexing about the Smash Brothers character that just dropped?
No.
Oh yeah.
You are?
Yet to touch it.
Well, so. not super. It's cool. The only Smash Brothers DLC character I've been super hyped for is obviously Banjo and Kazooie. But
right.
I mean, Terry's all right. There's nothing wrong there. It just wouldn't have been my pick, but yeah, it's cool.
Actually, I have to say Terry is probably the least hype Smash DLC ever in my since they've been doing this, and the announcement of him was soft and oh, okay, whatever, when they announced him, and then even the direct happened, and it's the first direct I've actually I literally skimmed through it. I did not watch it second for second because I was getting bored, and
it was cool until he went into classic mode, and I feel like that just went it got too long.
Kind of spoiled it, honestly. Why would you show that? I thought that was a little bit spoilers. I want to experience that, not have you show it to me. And I thought it I didn't even know the direct happened. You guys were talking about it last week. I'm wait, I didn't even know this was going on. What the heck? So, hopefully we get a Nintendo Direct before the end of the year. I would like something. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Instead of just that. But what have I been Radical Rexing about? Well, I have a couple things. Shocker. First off, it's snowing. It is snowing here in Indiana and like in the Indy area, and it's like 2 or 3 inches outside, and it's awesome. I mean, besides Ryan's got to drive in it tomorrow, but it's pretty darn awesome. I didn't expect this. It was raining this morning, and all of a sudden it just starts snowing, and it's accumulating, and it feels like December. Like I feel like Thanksgiving's already passed, and like Christmas is right around the corner. Honestly, I turned on our Halloween lights outside, so it kind of feels like Christmas with that too. But it's cool. No pun intended. It's cool. I'm glad to have the snow here. That it was unexpected, and everyone knows winter and snow. That's my favorite. That's my favorite time of the year. So of course I was jamming to like Diddy Kong Racing winter level music on the way home, and Banjo-Kazooie Freeze Easy Peak, and some Christmas music today. Not ashamed. I'm Radical Rexing. Also that guys, our podcast got put into some random blog of top 30 Nintendo podcasts you must follow in 2019, and we came in at number 5.
Awesome.
I don't know who put this together, but FeedSpot blogs, thank you. That's really humbling. That's cool.
Actually, we were placed over Bobby's show, even if we were on Nintendo.
I know.
Over the Switchcast, and it was pretty cool to see that.
It was really cool. It's cool to know that people are listening and ranking us out there and stuff. So, thank you. Seriously, guys, thank you. That means a lot. We were really blessed and humbled by that. It truly does. It's nice to know that people actually do listen. It's not just us 3 nuts talking and hoping someone's listening when the episode goes out. So, but no, that was really cool. I had to bring that up today. I'm Radical Rexing about last week. I decided to finally get my SoundCloud put together for my own personal page of my music. So I have been writing video game music to just get myself better, to write different styles and genres, and be able to write, because I want to be able to write all different kinds of music, to eventually book some real gigs that I'm getting paid for, and to make for indie games, and who knows where that'll lead. But I would love to make that a career one day. So I write my own music to keep myself in practice and to better myself as a composer. And I released that SoundCloud. So I've been sharing it on our social medias and my personal pages, and some people have listened. I don't know if a lot of people have or not, but the ones who have enjoyed it, and I'm glad. And I'll continue to update that, and it's fun. Go check it out. I think I said this on the show, but I'm confident in the music I create, and I get people's opinions before I say okay, and I take and leave opinions as well. At the end of the day, if I'm really happy with how something is, I share it with people, and finally decided to share a lot of these with the public. If you actually have any interest of ever checking it out, you can just check our social media pages. But my profile, I guess, is going to be under the. It says like Jacob Rush 15 is what my user profile is. So on SoundCloud, go check it out, guys, if you would like to hear some of the music I've been making, and future music. So, and I've also been writing a really cool song. I was just listening to it before we got going here a little bit. It's just the ground roots, not really gone anywhere, but I like the start I had to it. I wrote a start to it last Friday. So, and the last thing I'm Radical Rexing about right now, I beat Luigi's Mansion 3, and dude, that game is fantastic. It's great. It's full of charm. I'm literally, I have had many moments where I'm just thinking like, I've never thought that I've never seen this in a Nintendo game. Just the charm and the cutscenes that they put into it, especially a Mario game. I was very, very pleased with Luigi's Mansion 3. It is definitely my favorite in the series now. I think they did a fantastic job. I don't know the numbers on it. I am assuming it's selling gangbusters. I hope it is. I assume so. If Dark Moon did, this definitely should be. So it's great. So hopefully there's even more we'll get in the future. I'm sure of it. But yeah, so I'm getting ready to dive into Spyro for the first time too and finish up Yooka-Laylee. But that's all I've been Radical Rexing about, guys. We have a big episode, a fun episode we have planned for today. We're returning to it, a special themed episode that we did 2018 of March. It's been a while since we've done this style. And
Wow.
But before we do that, guys, we have a phone call. We had another phone call. Thanks for calling in, guys. Just like we asked, we love it when people call in. Keep calling in with more questions, more comments on the show. Ryan and I both are prepared with our. Oh, I have an iPhone 11. I'm not really Radical Rex about that. I got my iPhone 11. It's like Nintendo Red, and I got a clear see-through case, so it's fantastic. So my phone actually works again. But Ryan, if you already have the voicemail pulled up, go ahead and let's hear this. Nice background, Josh.
Hey guys, this is Jamie calling. I wanted to reach out and say I've been listening for a couple months. Really love the show. I think it's awesome. Part of what I was searching for when I typed in Nintendo for a podcast was like someone who specifically played on the memories and the nostalgia that we all have when we were kids. So I'm really, really glad I found the show. Been listening for a couple months, and I wanted to call in with two things. One, I really appreciate Josh on the show. I appreciate his accent. I'm also from West Virginia, so you don't hear that very often. Meet folks out and about, or even on the interweb who are from West Virginia. So that's a cool connection. But also, I have a question. You guys covered every show. It's what your Radical Rex been about. What does that mean? For only listening for a couple months, I never got an explanation of that. So I'd love to know what that means. You guys have a great show, and I love it. Keep it coming. Have a good day.
Jamie, thank you for the phone call, man. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're enjoying the show. It makes us happy. It really makes our hearts happy to hear that. And Josh, wow, what do you think of that, Josh?
Yeah, thank you, because when I hear my accent, I think I sound terrible. So
He's too hard on himself.
Quite nice to hear that.
Look at Josh. You've been on the show. Josh just joined our show recently, and he's already gaining fan base. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this, Josh. You and Jamie you guys need to meet up in West Virginia and have the West Virginia Nosh crew, and you can start gaming and stuff. There you go. To answer your question, Jamie, what is Radical Rexing? Well, Radical Rex is a video game that came out on the Super Nintendo, and it is a game from my past childhood that my best friend Traven had. It is a game that, being a kid and playing Super Nintendo in a world without really an internet, for all I knew, that this game was just as big as Mario World and Donkey Kong Country. And it was a game that Traven and I loved to play. I loved dinosaurs, and he was a dinosaur T-Rex on a skateboard that was trying to get through this incredibly hard platformer game that I'm pretty sure Traven and I never beat. Actually, I do have it on my SNES Classic. My buddy put it on it for me, but it's just kind of an inside thing because it's built on one of my nostalgic memories. So yeah, I mean, it's got nothing significantly special to it, I guess. We just decided to turn it into a segment instead of, as we built this show up, we used to do like just the news, or we wanted to call this section something. So it's basically the equivalent of stuff we are excited about in life, and we just called it our Radical Rexing segment. So we're basically, in terms, we're excited about this.
Yeah, you were definitely excited about Radical Rex. Like, you could talk like so much nostalgia on that one. So like, it just kind of fits with like those things that get us really excited today that will probably create nostalgic memories for us in the future. So we definitely like to bring that to the table. And at first I was like, Radical Rexing, that sounds dumb. Like, let's not do that. But then after a while, I'm like, you know what? It's perfect for us. It's just right. And so we Radical Rex.
Radical Rexing. Radical is such a 90s word, and I love that, So it's like, it's definitely an inside joke thing, but yeah, I mean, it's radical, dude, and I'm radical Rexing about it, so.
YouTube the theme song when you get the chance.
It's awesome.
Pretty heavily 90s.
So 90s. When we start making t-shirts for this show, we definitely need to make a Radical Rexing. Radical Rexing t-shirt. That would be something cool to do, especially if we ever create a Patreon. You want a Radical Rexing t-shirt or hat? Here you go. So, yeah, but that's what it is. So I'm glad to answer that for you. Thanks for asking, Jamie. Thanks for calling, man. Call back again with some more questions, and we love, and everyone else love the voicemails. So cool stuff, guys. Well, and Jamie, you're in for a treat. I don't know if you've gone back to our past episodes, but yeah, back in March of 2018, we did a commercials episode with one of our old co-hosts, Clay. He's no longer on the show anymore. He's moved on to another state and he does other stuff now. So, he actually is the original creator of this style of show. We've done a lot of unique episodes, but this was his idea. And we are continuing on with his idea by doing another episode all dedicated to Nintendo commercials.
Donkey Konga! Can they play without smiling? Gamers ready? Thunder! You must not smile, idiot! What Donkey doing? Little man smile! Punish him! Donkey Konga with bungles! 39 quid 99! Only on Nintendo GameCube!
Oh my gosh. What did I just watch?
That's why I included it.
Wow. Josh.
I don't know what happens.
So Josh has brought Donkey Konga UK commercial. Talk about it, Josh. Why'd you select this one?
Because I don't understand it, but yet it's in English apparently.
I know, right?
If you just watch it, it just looks like utter nonsense and a bunch of people dressed up as monkeys and stuff. Like, why wouldn't I include it? And I think I also just wanted to include something Donkey Kong, and unfortunately, it's not a rare game, but it's Donkey Kong, sort of.
Yeah, it was the weird stage of Donkey Kong's. What do we do with Donkey Kong outside of since Rare had left at this point? Donkey Konga, wow, yeah. We haven't even done an episode on that game yet, and I have a lot of nostalgic memories for it, but I've never seen this commercial, and my goodness, this was a very weird commercial. Ryan, what'd you think of that, man? That was wild.
It's interesting. I liked the detail they put into that DK costume. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the guy in the chimp costume.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was stupid.
But I like the words, the big words that would pop up as you go through the commercial.
Yeah.
It was very flashy, even if it's for a weird subject.
Such a weird time for Donkey Kong in general. That commercial sums up what they were trying to figure out with him.
There was a lot of like mini games and stuff, because I want to say like Mario versus Donkey Kong was around that time, like King of Swing, just the weird stuff in that was kind of that era.
It was like literally my middle school years was when Donkey Kong like hit that same weird stage of like, I don't understand.
Jungle Beat and
oh yeah, all of that. Wow. Well, Josh, that's a good one. Did not expect it.
Mom. Come on, Mario. Come on, Mario, jump! I give up.
Want to grow? The calcium in milk helps bones grow.
Okay, so that is the Super Mario 64 Got Milk commercial, an advertisement for the game. I'm positive I saw this commercial for the first time when I was in like fourth grade, third grade. I'm pretty sure it was third grade. So that would have been back in like 2001 ish. And I was in love with Mario 64 at this time, but it was new. I didn't own it still. Brad owned the game. I never owned it. So anytime I saw Nintendo come on the TV at on when I'm watching cartoons, I just got hyped, man. Especially for a game I really loved. And this commercial is kind of funny because Mario, it's one of the water levels that's later on in the game, where you raise the water and you lower it. We've talked about Mario 64 about 1,000 times, so you can go back and check out our older episodes if you really want to hear more detail about this level. But you can tell in this commercial, though, that like the Mario that you see in this level is actually, it's not the same Mario from Mario 64. You guys realize that? You guys, first off, do you even remember this commercial? Do you remember seeing this back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Definitely remember this one.
Yeah, this was back when I felt like stuff like this was, well, I don't know. It felt like it was a little bit more rare to see on TV. Like now I feel like I turn on, like if my daughter's watching one of the kids' channels, like I've seen a Luigi's Mansion commercial almost every 5 minutes.
Nintendo's much better today. I agree with you, Josh, entirely. They're much better today about advertising. But yeah.
And this wasn't even for a game. This is for milk.
There is a Got Milk book that I very well could have in my parents somewhere still that you remember like when the book people, Scholastic Book Club, is that what it's called? You always got like a little book magazine like once a month or something you could look through. I remember always getting so excited. Dude, they had this Got Milk book in it and it had Mario in it. So I asked my mom to buy it for me, and I got it. And I got it. I remember it had like Michael Jordan with a milk mustache, and all it was just different pictures of people with Got Milk and milk mustaches. And I got it solely because Mario was in it with a milk mustache, based off of this commercial. But yeah, Mario jumps out, describing this commercial real quick. He's like, first off, the music they're playing isn't even a real Mario song in the game. It's just something silly that would sound like Mario. And it is... Yeah, it's not this... I'm a little surprised. The animation they used is not Mario 64 animation, guys. Look at it closely. He's not very polygonal. I'd say it leans closer to like what he's going to look like in the GameCube. Which would explain this is like 2001-ish, I think this commercial comes out. So it's a bit, maybe this was like early level material of what Mario was going to look like.
This actually commercial stuck with me really well, with Mario jumping out of the TV and like jumping on real world things. And my mind kind of does that when I'm driving, or especially when I'm like but especially when I'm being a passenger. And I watch the telephone wires as we go by, and I always imagine Mario jumping along the telephone wires, you know. And so this is what kind of sparked that thing. Just seeing Mario jump out of the TV and jump on like household objects, skating on a skateboard, jump into the refrigerator and get that milk.
That was cool. So. And rolling around on a soccer ball. It made him feel even more real in my life. You know, as a kid, we live with our imaginations take over, and to me, Mario was real. You know, like he's like a real identity in reality. And this commercial, kind of like what you just said, Ryan, brings it more into reality because he literally jumps out of your TV, and it was just so cool. It captured me as a kid, and I wanted to bring it to here tonight. So, cool. Any other comments on that, guys?
Not really. I mean, that's definitely one I remember almost more than any other commercial, minus maybe the Smash Brothers 64 one. But that's their story for another time, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right, Ryan, you're up, brother. What are you bringing here?
touch and play over 180 quick-fire microgames. WarioWare Touched for Nintendo DS. Rated E for everyone.
Ryan, how did I know you would do something with the DS and touching is good? I just knew it when I was prepping for this. You would have something.
Oh, I think I
So
almost,
I gotta say, this is probably my favorite.
I think
of
I
the
almost
Nintendo
pulled this one
commercials.
up. Yeah, I remember this.
I don't remember it. I don't remember seeing it live, but clearly it's a real thing.
This commercial got me hyped for WarioWare Touch. Not that I wasn't already, because I loved the first WarioWare. So like, yeah, this was its DS venture, and they did this commercial where this kid next door is controlling this guy in his bathroom as he's getting ready for his day at work, and like having him like put his finger up his nose and like pet himself. And it's
Just
so
like
weird.
WarioWare. It actually captures that game pretty darn
Those
well.
are fun, though.
Exactly. It's just so fun because it captured some of the mini games that you do, the micro games, like you unroll the toilet paper, and so like you're unrolling toilet paper on him.
Yeah, I don't remember this one, but man, yeah, that was a funny one. That was silly. Josh, you said you do remember this commercial?
Vaguely, yeah.
Bizarre. The DS era, such a different time. Okay, well, if we don't have any other thoughts on that weird commercial, let's move forward. Josh, we're back to you, my friend. What is your second pick for this episode?
You've got one night to save Mario from the supernatural. Luigi's Mansion. Only for Nintendo GameCube. Rated E for everyone.
Oh, that's actually pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I really liked this one as a
remember
kid.
it. I remember it. Josh, tell us a little bit about this one. You remember seeing this one on the TV back in the day?
I do. I remember a lot of the GameCube ones back then for whatever reason. I feel like when
I do too.
really started like heavily keeping up with everything. I guess especially just that's when I really got like hooked up to the internet and everything too. But yeah, that one was just kind of stuck out in my mind.
It's a little different than Nintendo's normal approach too, because it starts off honestly with a little bit of sex appeal. It's got a pretty girl in leather, and the guy's trying to make a move on her basically on a couch, and then her necklace that he sees is a cube, and it freaks him out.
Yeah, and then she's apparently a GameCube.
Yeah, apparently she's not really a woman.
Yeah, and that does feed into like the Japanese items personified, and I like how that like she's all goth and they did the black GameCube with that. But yeah, they advertised like Luigi's Mansion with it, and it was like kind of like a Spectre type thing in the cube as he looked at it, and at the end after he goes through his whole like scary trip through the cube world, just he's left with the GameCube sitting there, and he has to like scoot away because he's scared of it,
I just want to highlight real quick about how cool this commercial is, though. Like seeing it, I got the same feelings, Josh, that I got as a kid. Like we were jumping from an era from the Nintendo 64 polygons to a GameCube era where honestly that's when graphics were massively noticeably different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the GameCube, I remember as a kid, man, it just intrigued me so much. It looked so stinking good. And that's why I was enthralled. I remember I'm pretty sure we did it in the last commercial episode actually, but I remember the Smash Brothers Melee. That was one of my picks for that episode, and like I remember it clearly because of the graphics, and it was another cube, like in a giant cube. Someone, it was like a kid looking at these samurais fighting in a mall. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking of that one. Mm-hmm.
I did that for our last commercials episode, and the GameCube, I feel like they did a good job at grabbing your attention. It was always like what what is this? It had like a sense of weird element to it, and then the graphics that they would show was just fast and action packed, and like that commercial right there made me want to be like, what the heck is this Luigi's Mansion game? Like, it looked really cool.
Yeah, this was one of those that I did pick out for this episode, but I feel like it wasn't one of the weirdest ones I saw necessarily.
There's very weird stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to do something a little bit different, and I actually kind of liked it, not in a weird way.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like you said, the GameCube commercials. Just trying to find some stuff. There was a lot of pretty decent ones, or at least were interesting to say the least.
A lot of eye-popping stuff for sure. Ryan, you got anything else you want to add here?
No, I really liked just the intro, like the contrast, like they're in like the red room and like the black and white really stuck out there. I think they did a really good job with catching the eye with that commercial.
It definitely gives you like, what is this? This is interesting. For sure. Okay, well, that brings up to my second commercial here. Let me play it.
Game Boy Advance. 惑星 SR388 悲劇はそこで起こった。未知の生物 X によって体を蝕まれたサムス。一命は取り留めたが、その代償は大きかった。ゲームボーイアドバンスメトロイドフュージョン。
Yeah. So that was Metroid Fusion, the Japanese commercial. When I was researching on what I should bring to the table, I wanted to bring a Japanese one. I did last time, and there's so many weird ones. But I was like, I don't think I've really seen like a Metroid Japanese dedication commercial, and of course Metroid Fusion is my favorite 2D Metroid game, and I had to see this. And guys, I have to say, it wasn't weird. I thought it was really cool. I think Metroid Fusion came out in like 2014. I'm sorry, 2004. That was a decade late there. 2004, and like, man, the 2004 Jacob would have been enticed. Like, I'd get my heart racing. That was like super cool. I loved it. It shows like Samus's bodysuit there, and it's got the X parasite on it, and it's like trying to get into her suit, and then she wakes up and she's got the Metroid Fusion suit on, and then it just does a sizzle reel of a lot of quick action scenes of the game, and man, I just know that would have really, really enticed me as a kid. It enticed me now, like, I obviously know what the game is now, but it made my heart excited, and I think that's what this commercial was trying to do the job of. And so I wanted to select it too, simply because out of Japanese commercials when I was doing this, like we've said, a lot of them were just straight up weird. I thought this one was cool. It wasn't really weird at all to me. It just was like, oh, what is this? This is great. Oh, sweet. I had the nice Metroid music in the background too. I loved it. That's why I wanted to bring it here. Ryan, what do you think about this commercial, man?
I love the work they do with the Metroid commercials. Like, there's one that shows the very first one that they did, where it was like live action. It was like a guy running around or a girl running around in like Samus's suit, and would do flips and action things, and like basically would morph into the game, into the 8-bit, feel of the original Metroid. And I like that they capture that with this in the Game Boy Advance era, with like, I love the CGI they did there with the X parasite moving along the armor. That was really cool. And then just like cutting to like the actual like gameplay and stuff. Like, I like it. I like it a lot. I love the live action Metroid stuff, and I just want to see him get better and better as they go along. Well, I have
to say that that's the Samus we see in this commercial, that bodysuit, that's actually a pretty legit looking suit. Like you said, the CGI is really good, whereas you can go watch some older commercials, and I mean, like, clearly, like, Samus looks like she was just like a bunch of boxes glued together, you know what I mean? This one looks looks sleek, like it is like got a little bit of production put into it, so I liked it a lot. Josh, what'd you think?
Oh, yeah. I was getting ready to say, I can't say I remember this one, but it was Japanese, so of course I don't remember it.
Right.
Yeah, like pretty much what you all said. The production and it looked really good for what it was. Almost expected it to be a little more weird, just knowing that game and how creepy some of it can be.
I love that game.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it was well done.
Cool. Yep. That's why I brought it. Ryan, you're up, man. What's your second commercial that you wanted to share with everybody?
So I picked a Japanese commercial
Sweet.
here, and it was one that I hadn't seen before. It's a game that I've only played just a little bit of, but I thought it was of note for weird.
Ending まで泣くんじゃない。名作保証。マザーついに大完成。
So this one was a bit disturbing if you think about what it shows. So it's set for Mother, so Earthbound. Is it Beginnings?
Yeah, since they translated it, well, since
Mother
they
would be
re-released it in English on the Wii U version, they started calling it Earthbound Beginnings over here.
So it shows like live action. It shows like kids like powering up and attacking this giant
those
robot.
kids were not Japanese too. They were like looked very American.
But then it jumps over to like this gigantic mushroom cloud, and like this is kind of of for the Japanese like culture because of the whole like bombing of Hiroshima and everything. I thought that was very shocking. And then like they further like went even further and said no crying until the ending. And I don't know if that's just bad translation, but I feel like that's like PTSD stuff there.
Yeah.
And like they're showing this in a Nintendo commercial. It's like, what the heck is
think
going
of the time
on?
frame too. I mean, back then they were a lot closer to the events of that than now, you know.
It's just like, wow, did they really do that? Definitely weird for the
It's very
timing.
weird. I've never seen that clearly, obviously. Earthbound. I don't know what they were trying to do. Like a giant robot and it like breaks up into pieces. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those American to Japanese things that doesn't translate. I would have thought it was more weird as a kid. I can tell you that than I would have wanted to go out and buy it.
And the music that's playing is like choral, like girls singing or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
like
so
a children's choir.
I'm guessing it's
weird.
a cultural thing because kind of like Jacob said, it would have not have caught my attention.
No, I would have thought it was weird
Yeah.
and not wanted to buy the game. I wouldn't even have realized it probably was a game, to be honest.
Yeah,
until
and I like
you saw the
for the most part. It's not my favorite, but I do like the game.
No, yeah, I mean, I definitely think Earthbound is something it's a franchise I definitely want to actually dive into deep. I never have, but because of Undertale and Deltarune, I want to go back and play those games. But yeah, very weird commercial. That was a strange one, Ryan, for sure. Well, I guess we're to our last and final round of commercials. We each brought 3 to the table here. And Josh, you're up, brother. What do you have? What is your final commercial for this episode?
All right, here we go.
Something wild is coming. Something you wouldn't expect. It's Donkey Kong Country 3 starring Kiddy Kong. Uglier bosses, incredible levels, and graphics you won't believe. Donkey Kong Country 3 on Super NES.
There's something you don't see every day.
Okay, so I can tell you exactly where I was when I first ever saw this commercial. I was downstairs at my parents' house in this small nook area, and I remember watching cartoons on the TV, and I remember watching Donkey Kong Country 3 come on, this exact commercial. I can see it right now in my head. Gosh, nostalgia is a fun thing to revisit and think back to those old times. And I remember just thinking, like, man, that's so cool. I wish I had a Super Nintendo. Traven has one. I don't. But I remember thinking those same things. And as a kid, it doesn't ever, like, they use that monkey. Like Josh said before we played this one, it's more of a visual one. But they're kind of use sex appeal at the start of it.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just realized I used two.
You what?
That used that sort of as a joke between the Luigi's Mansion one and this one.
Oh wow, you use two sex appeal, Josh.
What's wrong with me?
I see the way you
apparently
like
think
to
it's
advertise. Josh, take us through the commercial, man. Sorry, I'm like taking over. Didn't mean to do that. Take us through the commercial.
So this one, I actually don't really remember. I may have seen it, but I would have got this game anyway. So yeah, at the beginning, you kind of have to watch it, like we were saying.
Yeah.
But the big reveal, almost don't even want to ruin it. I can say as a kid, I was a chicken, so this would have probably freaked me out when that first reveal, so to speak, happens. So yeah,
you can say this commercial doesn't air on TV anymore, so people need to know.
Well, that's true. So what looks to be a human girl is actually, I guess it's supposed to be Dixie, but it's a real life Dixie.
It looks more like Candy, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. It almost looks a little creepy.
Yeah.
But it shows the game off well for the few seconds it
Well, it's
pops.
so funny, too, because you hear him talking in the advertisement. They start showing us Israel Donkey Kong Country 3 and it says, starring Kiddy Kong. And everyone hates Kiddy Kong. And it actually is more.
I don't.
Yeah.
Dixie is the star of this game. But a fun fact that I've heard through DK Vine, the conversations that, like, Nintendo actually was against advertising. No, they weren't against it, but they were afraid to advertise a girl as the main character to the game because they thought it might hurt the sales to boys.
It's a little silly.
It is silly to think about. But that's why they said Kiddy Kong, and Kiddy Kong is that's like saying starring Luigi instead of Mario. That's silly. This is Dixie's big adventure here on her own, but
Kitty gets too hard of a Tom.
yeah, he does. Ryan, what do you think about this commercial? I mean, you remember it?
I think so. I think it was one of the things that turned me off to Donkey Kong Country 3. But yeah, just like some girl dancing like a diner, I guess, in front of a juice box, and just you see it from behind, and then turns around. There's the scary monkey face.
Oh my gosh, guys! I mean, I have to. As an adult, like they definitely they use the sex appeal. It looks like a very attractive woman shaking her hips back and forth, and then she turns around and she's got like black tar teeth and a chimpanzee face, and it goes from.
It's sobering.
It goes from you have an initial natural an attraction to what you're seeing, and then all of a sudden it's boom, you feel like a freaking weirdo because it's a monkey.
It's like one of those like before and after drug like pictures.
Yeah. I feel very strange when I see that commercial. Like, you know what I mean? It's just your natural instincts, and all of a sudden it's an ugly chimpanzee.
It's a particularly ugly one. Yeah,
very ugly. I think they wanted that. I really do. I think they wanted us to feel like, you weirdo, what are you doing, kind of thing. And then she gets picked up by a giant gorilla on a motorcycle, and they ride off into the desert. And even the gorilla doesn't properly, like, I don't know, it doesn't even really properly represent the game because Kitty is a baby and Donkey Kong is not even really present in this game himself. So, very silly commercial. Very silly. Okay, well, I guess that takes me to my third pick. And I was torn, actually. I have two. but it's the same game. But I remember both. So I'll put A or B, guys. You vote. Should we do B or should we do A? What should we do?
B.
B. You say B, Josh?
Capital B.
Okay. It is B. I will select it. Let me send you the link.
Come on, dude.
Just chill.
No, this is what?
Look, old boy, you'll play when my turn's over.
But you've been playing for 62 years.
Now you can play Nintendo 64 longer than ever. With Fruit by the Foot's new game tips, 90 tips to help you reach new levels and beyond. And 64 game tips from Fruit by the Foot. Your games go on and on and on.
Mom, you're killing me.
Oh, that's a good one. It is the Fruit by the Foot Nintendo 64 Banjo-Kazooie commercial. Two old guys eating fruit by the foot. It was like a double advertisement, and they're playing on it is the 64 Banjo-Kazooie. And it cracks me up because I'm like, dude, this is Ryan and I, like, in like 50 years from now. It's gonna be Ryan and I. And Ryan's gonna be wearing a Shadow the Hedgehog beanie and have a lip ring, but we're gonna be really old, and I'm still gonna be playing Banjo-Kazooie on the 64. 62 years, man. I'm surprised they didn't use 64. I was like, maybe that's maybe that was a mistake. You know, it's a Nintendo 64, not Nintendo
like
62.
Wasted opportunity there.
I know, man. But yeah, you guys remember that commercial?
I do.
Yes. That one's actually what got me hyped for Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember the jumping out of the airplane.
Oh, that's
one.
for Tooie, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one at all, but I definitely remember the Banjo-Kazooie one with the two hip grandpas. I was like, yeah, that's totally my grandpa.
Yeah. Josh, you said you remember this one?
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember this one. It's one of those I don't know if I did until I saw it. But now that I've seen it, I feel like that one was on all the time. I believe I actually had those Fruit by the Foots at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm about 90% sure I went out and got them afterwards, but I really wish I would have kept it. I know that's silly, but just seeing it
for sure.
I was like, man, that was
I get it.
Days.
I get it. Yeah, it's totally 90s. It's late 90s here, and this is elementary school me. This is first grade, second grade me here, hanging out with Brad Hunzinger on Saturday mornings, and even seeing these commercials come on when you get home off the school bus and you're watching Fox Kids or WB Kids, and the cartoons come on.
This isn't completely related, but it somewhat is. But do you remember the Lunchables that had the Donkey Kong 64 like trading card things on the back of them? I thought of.
You know, I want to say I do.
It stirs the memories a little bit. Like, I feel like I should know this, and I know this, but I don't.
Well, if you think about it, this era, Nintendo actually did a lot of advertisements through, like, kid products. Like, Capri Suns and Fruit Roll-Ups and Keebler Elves and all this stuff. Like, I remember a lot of food-themed commercials because that was the thing in the 90s. Get your snacks, go play your video games. So what better way to advertise kids to the snacks they're eating while they game? That's actually genius.
I've got my theme for a couple of my commercials I picked tonight, and you've got your food theme. So
apparently I like food. That's no lie. Go look at my high school photos.
And mine's not the most family friendly. So.
No.
Yeah.
We're such pigs. We're such pigs. Lord forgive us. So yeah, that's mine. Ryan, go ahead, take us away, man. End this episode off with
sure thing. This one's a bit of a long one. This one's a bit of a long one, but it's so I found this one. I want to say I've seen it before, but I found it by looking up. I was trying to look at different like nationality like Nintendo commercials, and so I typed in Nintendo commercial of Sweden. And this one popped up, and it's a little bit long, but I love like what it shows here. It kind of reminds me of like what we see.
I'm excited.
Here we go.
So I feel like I've seen an Americanized version of this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That was
it tugged on my nostalgia strings a little bit. Like, I know I've seen this before, but not that whole thing before.
that was so long and so like why?
It led to
I mean,
so it's a very Matrix like thing, like all the agents like Smith's running at you. You know, that kind of idea, like all these kids get off of school, they all wear the exact same outfits and everything, and they all start like rampaging through the streets. And then they start like doing like crazy things, like this one kid just like kind of launches off into the air and flies over this guy that's trying to stop him, and like jumping from pillar to pillar and running along subway tops and like ducking and stuff like that. And like there's this kid that just completely gets like hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And gets like flung against the wall. And then he just gets up and runs off again. It's such a weird commercial. Like they're jumping in the sewers and just
trains.
like everybody's running towards this Nintendo shop that just opened up. And like then it's like it cuts like the crowd of kids all standing there and they all have Mario heads. And it's like the "Who are you?" like era. And it's just like it's the weirdest commercial I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was it's very weird, and it's but it makes sense. Like once you see everyone as Mario, it's like, oh, that's why they're all able to jump and do those crazy things, because that's like Mario when he's in a platformer. You know, he does all that stuff.
Yep.
And
who are you? You're Mario. You know,
gets hit by a bus and gets up and walks it off. Yeah,
the "Who are you" era, that's the GameCube era, correct?
It is, yes. I have a hoodie that has that emblem on it.
I remember it.
But you know, Mario gets hit by a bus in Mario Kart and he's fine.
Yeah,
so I
that's
guess
true.
it checks
Absolutely. He can jump from building to building. Very interesting, very weird. I feel like I don't understand what it's trying to get across, per se. Like that doesn't make me want to go buy Nintendo. It does make me think of Nintendo. But it didn't make me want to go buy a specific product like a game or a console or anything. I don't know. Maybe the point is just to think of Nintendo.
The flavor of it really was getting you to think, like, who am I in a Nintendo game? What character am I? And just kind of thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, who are you guys? Who are you? If you had to pick a Nintendo character,
Josh, who are you?
You totally just got me on the spot. I have no idea.
Think about it.
Some of my favorites, but you know that's a loaded question.
It is hard to separate your favorites to who do you think you actually relate to.
Okay, like I love Diddy, Banjo, you know, Yoshi. Even I know that's not rare. You thought I was on some sort of pattern there, but you know, probably more like relatable to Wario than I want to be. You know.
So you greedy money grubber is what you're saying, and you like,
or you flatulate a lot.
I think Ryan has it.
Oh my!
Love garlic.
Yeah, garlic is quite great.
You guys are gonna think I'm dumb, but I actually think I relate a lot to Donkey Kong because he's like somebody who wants to be a leader, and he's strong and he's athletic, and I try to be strong and athletic with working out and staying in shape. And I actually feel like I have a similar body build to Donkey Kong. Like I'm not like the biggest guy out there. I'm not huge. I'm not like a chunky Kong. But I'm definitely not tiny. Like, you know, I'm not skinny or anything. I definitely have that build. I have a build similar to Banjo too, but Donkey Kong, he's like a leader and he's good and good-hearted, but he's also clearly he's not the smartest of the bunch, and I know I'm not the smartest of the bunch. I say dumb stuff all the time, and stuff goes over like that scene where I always laugh at myself in Donkey Kong Country Returns, where the Tiki tribe sees him and they're like trying to control his mind, and he just looks at him like, huh? I don't get it. Like that's me a lot of times, you know. I don't get stuff. People will tell me right to my face. I'm like, whatever.
All right, I'm giving myself Banjo. Actually, come to think of it, maybe it's the accent.
It's the accent, man.
You know, he's generally a nice guy. He's kind of simplistic. You know,
he is.
So
what you're saying is Kazooie is your wife?
So Ryan, what's yours?
Who are you, Ryan?
So I think I relate to Professor Egad a lot. I don't know, like I don't know.
Egad.
He's kind of behind the scenes, but like he like comes up with like crazy
He's a
things.
madman,
but,
basically,
you know,
like you.
they don't always work out, but
That's funny.
he's just a funny old guy.
Fun fact, my daughter, every time she sees me play Luigi's Mansion, I go into the lab, she always goes, Suku Suku, because that's what she heard him say.
It's adorable.
It is adorable. She doesn't know
his
who he
mouth.
is.
His mouth moves with the words in 3.
Yeah.
Which is
It is adorable.
Away.
Every time she sees him, Suku Suku, I hear her say it. It's so cute. Well, guys, that's our commercials episode, and you know who we think we are. You probably think we're dumb, but Ryan, why don't you go ahead and do our due diligence? We forgot to do it at the start here.
Sure thing, man. I do have an honorable mention real quick before we close out, and this is going into the future of Nintendo commercials. You know, the most recent one, the weird one that people talked about was there was one that showed someone playing the Switch in the bathroom. Like it had several like shots like over the shoulder and stuff like that, like, you know, pants down, and it's like, you know, playing the Switch, and that's a weird commercial. Weird. Like if I ever see one, and hope that Nintendo continues doing these strange ones that make you talk about them for days.
That is weird.
All right, guys. You can find us on at our home site at thentendovillage.com/Nintendo Nostalgia, on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Nintendo NOS, on our Twitter at Nintendo_NOS. Shoot us an email at NintendoNostalgiaIN@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on Instagram at Nintendo NOSIN. Give us a call on our hotline. We do have it open right now. Let us know what you think about our show and the different episodes that we do. Let us know if you have some suggestions for the future. The number is 317-969-5690. Guys, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Later, Preston.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.